Hello, hello, good morning. It is August 12th, um, August 12th, 2026, 11:22 a.m. in the morning. Alex reporting for duty. Um, yeah, I had therapy yesterday, so I got to do a little bit of a mental dump on her. But today's been kind of heavy too, and I don't know why, so I'm just going to talk my way through it. Um, the first thing that got me this morning was watching a video of Don Fry. If you don't follow UFC, he's one of those like legends, one of the goats. Ooh, and he's aging. I don't know, man. He's probably up there in his late 60s, early 70s, maybe. I don't know, but he looked aged, and it was a reminder to myself that, man, if this guy that I followed 20, 30 years ago is aging, that means I am too. So I did a quick Google, and it sounds like his last professional fight was at 46 years old. Holy moly. Um, if you don't watch UFC or know or are familiar with combat sports, it's probably the most brutalizing. Um, well, maybe not. I mean, there's sports that are harder on the body. I mean, hockey would be hard on the body. Motocross is probably the hardest. Taking a fall from 40 feet is life changing. Getting a kick in the face can be painful, but anyway, it's still hard in the body. So to keep up at an elite level like that at 46 was both impressive and kind of sad and scary. I thought, shit, this guy didn't want to age. And he admitted it in a video 5 minutes later that he probably should have retired with more dignity, but he didn't want to accept the fact that he was aging. And anyway, his last professional fight's at 46, and I'm 47, and I'm thinking, like, holy shit, I barely got out of bed this morning, let alone the toilet. And Um, I got a bad hip, mind you, but my body shouldn't be as beaten up as his. I haven't put, I mean, I put it through the grinder in some stupid ways. I broke bones and stuff that I probably normally wouldn't have if I was normal and regulated. But anyway, aging keeps coming back to me as a common theme. The other one is my own parents. I think about them a lot, and um, trying to convince my dad that maybe it's time to consider downsizing, and he wants nothing to do with it at this point, but my mom does. And my biggest issue, contention point, is what I kind of stressed to my therapist yesterday, was that I don't want to push them out the door, because that's what kills people. There's lots of people that when they lose their purpose and their reason, they give up and they're gone. And I want my parents here for at least another 15 or 20 years, to match what my cousins got out of my aunt and uncle. Both lived until 92 or 93. So my parents are 74, 75. I think it's only fair that I ask a 15 or 20 year span. Um, I don't need them. I want them. And that's something I keep telling myself, because fuck knows, man. I mean, they could be gone tomorrow. And when someone needs something is when you collapse. And part of this whole midlife crisis spiritual journey of mine is learning to cope independent of anything, and getting rid of any codependencies I've had, which I've had a lot, on people and substances and places, and nothing is permanent. And there's a woman on YouTube here that I follow all the time that has been the guiding light and getting me to that point. So it's work in progress, will be to the end of time, but keep it in mind. And then my YouTube and Facebook are highly tuned to things that they know that really get me going, either on a positive note or a negative note. If it's negative, both of those algorithms have me pegged. That they know they should show me, mall disturbances, public disturbances, riots, pedophiles and predator type videos, Chris Hansen type shit. All of those things are things that really irritate me. They really, really piss me off, and I will almost always comment, because I'm trying to vent, man. I'm trying to share my opinion with the world, to know, like, who are my people and who not. The people that do these things are not my people, and I wouldn't want them within 10 feet of me, because I would be very nervous around them. I'd be wanting to fucking, just looking for that trigger catalyst for something to pop off. So I tend to try and tell the algorithm that fuck off, don't show me those videos because they're a time sink. They waste my energy and I don't like them. I don't want nothing to do with them. And of course, the algorithm shows me because I engage with them and interact, and that's all it cares about. And then on the positive side, I get videos with cats and kittens and, things that tug at my heartstrings, like sick children, things of that nature. And those will get my reaction too, but they're usually terse. They're usually like, oh, cute or heart emoji or something. And then I'm on my way. And those are what got me this morning, man. There was this one where this young girl that was maybe 2 or 3 years old and had some mobility issue. And the caption read that by the age of 5, she would be in a wheelchair, unable to walk. Fast forward, she's 6 or 7 or 8 now and in some sort of track field program at school. And granted, I mean, like, she's not running like normal kids, but the fact that she's running and not in a wheelchair, that took a lot out of me, man. It made me cry. I'm not gonna lie. It brought tears to my eyes, and I don't like crying. So every time I do, I try and unpack that. I'm like, what the fuck was the trigger? And let's try and avoid that so that it never happens in public. Um, I've never cried in public, as far as I'm aware. I've always been able to kind of hold it back. With the one exception, of course, was like, my grandparents and my aunt and uncle, and my fur babies when I had to put them down. I mean, I was crying in private. It was in a hospital room or a euthanasia room, so it's not like there was a lot of people around. But I would bark at the nurses or something, and be like, "Fuck off, go away." Yeah. Ooh, yuck! I got chocolate all over my fucking table. I'm gonna be wearing it on my arm. Look, I'm the chocolate Charlie chocolate factory man. Anyway, that little girl video just touched me today, and I unpacked the feelings a little bit, and I'm gonna dump them on here. If anything, for a reminder, so maybe I can give this to my therapist and ask her, like, am I an empathetic psychopath? I don't understand. So my feelings of they were tears of gratitude and happiness for her that she beat the fucking odds, man. And the thing that I just adore about people that are in adverse situations like that in life, man, is their maximum accountability and accountability for their self responsibility. They're not blaming anyone, and if they do, they're not sharing it with the world. They're using it as energy to push forward and push past trial and tribulations, man. And I respect the shit out of that to the end of time. And those are people that I try and surround myself with, man, because that's what I want to learn. And on the flip side of that, it's people that don't take accountability. And I'm going to sidetrack here quick because I had a friend come over last Friday, work with me, pay off some money that he owed me, a couple $100 or whatever it was, or $100. He worked it off and then asked to borrow more money. And I was like, fuck, dude, this is no more of this yo-yo financial setup, fuck. And he's like this weaselly, I don't know, whiny. I feel bad for him, so I borrow him money constantly. And he does it in a way that doesn't trigger a response, right? He's not bullying it out of me, because then I'd confront him and be like, fuck off. He does it in a very like wimpy, oh, I'm desperate, I need the money, and I give in. So I gave him the fucking $50 on top of the beer and the cigarettes and everything that I paid for, and how he helps himself to my stuff in my house, and like he owns the fucking place. And where was I going with this? Anyway, so I borrowed him the more money, and with the promise that he would come by in the morning, because I had a bunch of junk in my yard that I had to get rid of that weekend, because I had a dump trailer that I was borrowing from a friend and the window was limited. So he promised and assured me he would come, and I knew in my heart that he was going to bail, because he was going to take that $50 and go buy something stupid and get fucked up and not show up for 2 days. Literally why this guy can't keep a job past Monday, because he constantly fucks up. And he's in this place where he'd rather do that, and that's fine. I don't care. The thing that pissed me off, and going back to this personal accountability and responsibility, he bailed on me. I had to do all the work myself. He owes me money. I complained about it on Facebook. He's seen it and then turned it around and somehow made it my fault that I was complaining that he fucked me over for money that I prepaid for work he didn't do, and that I was ungrateful. And that, I think, is the catalyst. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back for the final time, because we've done this yo-yo relationship for a couple of years now where he's done something and I've been like, fuck, take accountability. Like, you're not always, everyone is always wrong except you. And that's it. Like, this time, that's it, man. I'm like, no, man, you are in the wrong. I gave you money to the promise of showing up. You didn't show up. You proved your true character, and then you complained about it like I was the bad guy. That lack of accountability, man, is something I expect from a 5-year-old throwing a temper tantrum that's just learning about life, not a 45-year-old man that has substance abuse problems. So I think the relationship with me and that guy, or Gonzo, I just, I don't care about his addictions and shit like that. I'll forgive and forget, man. But, and even borrowing money and not being able to pay it back tomorrow, but borrowing money, not showing up for work for 2 days straight, and then turning it around and making it my problem is the indication of severe lack of accountability. That's it, man. I'm done. I can't deal with that guy's bullshit anymore. He's like a fucking child. And I'm not the only person to say that. There's a lot of people that have said that he gets temperamental and whiny like a little child. And he's pulled that shit on me a few times, and I've had to remind him, like, whose name is on this mortgage exactly? The last time I checked, it was mine and mine alone, not yours. You're not even my family. You're not my bro. You're not you're barely hanging in there as a friend. And the expectations he puts on me financially and support wise are just crazy. So, I think that, like I said, relationship is behind me. But, anyway, going back to this young girl, she, it brought tears to my eyes, is what I was going with that. Sorry. So, the best that I can tell, again, one was the appreciation for her ultimate accountability, man, and awareness, and taking responsibility by the horns and doing everything she can to make the best of her situation. The total opposite of what the guy I just explained. And it overwhelms me with joy and pride in that, and their efforts, man. And that's what brings tears to my eyes. And the other thing that brings tears to my eyes is right after her video, there's another video of this fella in like Guatemala or something, and on a skateboard with no legs and one arm. And he had legs, but they were like, I don't know what you call them, like underdeveloped legs. They were like little chicken penguin feet. He didn't have legs. He had like little stumps with feet on the bottom. And I don't know if it was AI or not, pulling on your heartstrings, but I see shit like that, and my initial response is absolute heartbreak for those people, because, man, life is difficult when you're able-bodied. Never mind when you're challenged physically or mentally or both. And it breaks my heart, man. It really tugs at my heartstrings, and so much so my guttural, my overwhelming response is, I don't know, man. I wish that they had euthanasia for children right out of the gate, because I would not want to live life that way, knowing what I know now. And I don't know, man. That itself makes me cry, because I'm like, who the fuck am I to judge that some life gets destroyed because I think that hardships would be too much? And these people go through life, and I'm sure some of them complain. I met a guy that was paralyzed totally from the neck down, through the fella I was just barking about. And I thought he's got a good heart, man. I mean, he spent a decade doing orderly work for a fella in a wheelchair, which I could never do. I don't have the stomach for it. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the heart for it. So I always admired that about him, but accountability is more important, I guess. Anyway, I met a fella through him, and this guy was pretty angry, and I understood why, so I let it go. His attitude really sucked. Like, for a guy in a wheelchair to fucking bark at me and tell me to move my chair, and say it in a way like, you're 6'6", 300 pounds, and I couldn't beat the fucking living piss out of you paralyzed in a wheelchair. It was really straining on my nervous system, but I let it go because context matters, man. And, I understood that the guy was probably angry because he was paralyzed, and I don't know. But at the same time, here I am trying to justify genocide. Not genocide, so, well, sort of. That, like, anybody born that was clearly going to be abnormal, like they did in the Roman times. I mean, you drop them in the pit and you take them out of their misery sooner than later, and that sounds horrible. And I don't know if that is also what triggered my emotional response, but that's what I wanted to document. That's what I'm going to unpack, transcribe, and email that to my therapist for my next session with her at the end of the month. Um, Anyways, holy smokes, that was a heavy dump. If you're still watching, I see you, feel you, appreciate your eyeballs and attention. I don't know, man. I mean, how far off am I from a realistic expectation? Is my awareness slipping? That's why I document this, my feelings and shit, because I don't know, man. I mean, if I start going down the holy fucking Hitler path, I'd hope people would pull the reins on me and choke me the fuck out, because I don't want to be crazy ever, but I want to be effective. I want to be responsible. I want to be, I don't know, I want to be a lot of things, man. And I don't know if I'll ever get there. It'll be a lot of work in progress, but what else am I going to do with my time on the earth? Anyway, like I said, Wednesday, July 16, it's probably close to noon. I have a quick phone call with my client in about 25 minutes. So wish me luck. Hope you all have a great day, great rest of your week. If I don't do another one of these videos, we'll see you all soon. Bye.